Hey everyone, it's Sue here. I hope you're all doing well today. So I did something here that I never in a million years thought I would ever do. I cut out all of these pages from my Big Dilutions journal. All of them. I just cut it right out. So what I'm doing right here, and I'll explain that just a little bit more in a second, but I received this Bambi book from Cindy, and when I opened up these pages in this journal, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have Christmas jelly plating on here. Totally didn't even remember that it was there. And when I saw it, well, it made me think of my December daily, but you know, these pages are way too big for the box that I'm using in my December daily. And of course, I put that half a doily up way too far, so I had to move it down just a little bit. So I decided to still work with these two pages, but leave it bound in this, they're like two little chunks out of the Dilutions journal. So what I did was I wanted to do some mixed media in this journal today, and I took the journal out, and it's so fat that I couldn't really get, you know, a nice 2-page spread that was flat. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And the whole back of it wasn't done except for like these little things that I did here and there, just as backgrounds. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to cut it out. So I got my tool and I cut them out. And it didn't really damage my Dilutions journal too much. I mean, the back of it is apart a little bit, but it's all the pages are still in there. So what I'm doing here is I took this little tool, it's like a little sponge round tool, and I made those 3 red circles up on top. I love working with circles. And then just to use up some of the paint and get rid of some of that white that was around the jelly plated print, I put some of the red, and then I decided I want those circles to be more solid. So I took that round sponge and just put it down and twisted it, and then they came out just beautiful. So I keep hitting it with the heat tool because I just want to make sure that, you know, the next step that I do, it won't, you know, run the colors or anything, but I am using acrylics. And when I was cleaning out yesterday my craft area, I found all these little tubes of Liquitex paint. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's what I'm using. And this right here is my fine line applicator with brown acrylic paint in it. And again, I love circles, and I really haven't done much with circles in a while, but it is my go-to thing when I do mixed media. For whatever reason, if you love circles, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just something about them. But I'm taking the fine line applicator and doing some doodling and putting a bit of a border. I am only putting this border on that one side and across the bottom. I did end up leaving the other side to the right, that edge, just as is. I didn't do anything to it because I really wanted the jelly plated print to show there. And it's pretty because you can see it's shiny, and so it has gold in it. It's like some red paint, green paint, and gold paint that I use for the jelly plate. And I'm just making some designs in the little circles, which was so much fun. And so I'm liking the way that looks. I'm just going to put little dots in there. And I work rather fast. I mean, this is sped up, but I don't really like belabor anything. I just kind of get things done. Good or bad, I get them done. So I did, you know, put the word Bambi up here just so that I can remember, you know, that that's what this is. Although I would think that I would remember just from that page that I tore out of that book, but just to have that there. And I do, you know, sit and kind of look at it and think, oh, well, what does it need next? So I did want to keep it a 2-page spread. Um, so what I decided to put on this side was just some, you know, a little sentiment, so to speak. And I put here from Cindy. So again, so that I can remember as years go on. And I am enjoying the fine line applicator more and more. And I always have to mention Mary from the Mary Attier here on YouTube. She is my inspiration when it comes to, well, many things, but certainly the fine line applicator. And here I'm just going around, just getting a little bit more paint down. And I want to put the date on the bottom, and I cannot remember what exact day it was, and I didn't want to put the wrong date, so I left a spot for the day there, and I'll have to go back and look at the calendar and see what day Cindy was here. So I didn't want to leave this white space because I'm not real good at leaving white space. So I continued on with the fine liner. Now, like I said, this won't fit in my December daily, so I am going to leave it in this little, it's almost like a mini journal, but with the Dylusions paper, which I really do. I like using. I like the way paints work on it. It's a great mixed media paper. So up here, I'm like, oh, what? Too much white going on there, so let me get some dots down. And I'm really liking it. So again, I'm just sitting back looking, so what else does it need? And this was the last thing it needed. Just this simple little border around the edge of the page of the book. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I put that lid back on the fine line applicator so it doesn't dry up on me. And I'm just going to go ahead and lift it up so you can see real close. This took me only about, I think it was like 15 minutes to do. So it did not take long. Like I said, there's not too much that I do that takes me like days. Really pretty much nothing. But here are some close-up photos, and I love it, and it's a great memory. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye-bye.